Hey everyone, so today let's talk about something that seems super simple, teaching a kid their colors. But what if I told you that inside that everyday challenge, there's a whole world of fascinating brain science hiding in plain sight? And if you're a parent, this might sound painfully familiar. This is a real post from a parent online, and it's a worry that so many people have. You know, your kid knows the words red, blue, green, but when it comes to pointing them out, it feels like they're just guessing. It can be really frustrating and, yeah, a little bit scary. But hold on. Before we jump to any conclusions about color blindness, we have to understand what's actually going on inside that little toddler's brain. Because the reason they're struggling is probably not what you think. And the solution, well, it's actually amazingly simple. So why is this such a big deal for a little mind? I mean, it's just colors, right? Well, it turns out that learning colors isn't just about memorizing some words. It is a huge developmental leap for them. Think about it like this. A child first has to get that an object, say a ball, has all these different properties, right? It has a shape, it has a size, and it has a color. Then they have to mentally pull out just the color part and connect an abstract word like red to that specific thing they're seeing. That is a ton of mental heavy lifting. All right, so how do we help them crack this code? This is the cool part. It turns out a tiny change in the way we talk can make all the difference in the world. Okay, here is the secret sauce. When we say, look at the red balloon, a toddler's brain might just mash that all together and hear red balloon as the name of the object. But if we change it and say, the balloon is red, we're doing the work for them. We're clearly separating the object, the balloon, from its property, red. That simple little shift helps their brain forge the right connection. I mean, how cool is that? It just goes to show you how much the structure of our language really matters when it comes to learning. A tiny change in grammar can unlock a whole new way of seeing the world for a child. It's absolutely fascinating. And you know, beyond just how we talk, we can turn the whole thing into a game. Sorting buttons by color, that builds the idea of categories without even using words. Mixing food coloring and water, that's a fun science experiment right in your kitchen. Taping colored paper on the floor for them to jump on is a great way to burn off some energy while they're learning. And dedicating a whole week to one color, you know, a red week, just hammers that concept home through repetition. Okay, but what if you've tried all of this and something still seems off? Now we need to shift our thinking. Maybe the issue isn't that the child is struggling to learn the colors. Maybe it's that they are actually seeing them differently. Take a look at this number, 1 in 12. Just let that sink in for a second. This is way more common than most of us realize, and it's incredibly important. So what does that actually mean? It means 1 in 12 boys has some form of color vision deficiency, or CVD. Think about it, that means there's almost certainly a child with CVD in every single classroom. And a lot of the time, nobody knows. Not the child, not the parents, not even the teacher. The good news is there are amazing organizations like Colorblind Awareness working to change this. They give incredible resources to schools and parents to help create a more inclusive world for these kids. Because really, awareness is the first huge step. And here's a massive misconception we have to clear up. CVD isn't just about mixing up red and green Christmas decorations. It affects the entire spectrum of color. For instance, someone with CVD might see purple as just blue, because their eyes literally can't perceive the red that's mixed in. It can make oranges, browns, pinks, and even some grays really tough to tell apart. So knowing this, what can we actually do about it? Well, the best part is that making things accessible for kids with CVD is usually pretty simple, and honestly, it ends up helping everybody. Here are some super easy do's. Always go for strong contrast, like black on white. It's a game changer. Labeling crayons and paints takes all the guesswork out of it. On a chart, instead of just using a red bar and a green bar, why not use a striped bar and a dotted one? Good, bright light always helps. And, you know, pairing kids up as color buddies is a fantastic way to empower them to help each other. And just as important are the things to avoid. That classic red, yellow, green traffic light behavior chart. For a child with CVD, that can be completely meaningless. Writing with a red or green marker on a whiteboard, it might as well be invisible. And something we never think about, an orange soccer ball on a green field can be incredibly hard to track. Let's see how this plays out in school. In science class, those color-coded diagrams can be a real problem, but a buddy system or clear labels fix it. In geography, maps can be a nightmare, but adding shading or different patterns makes them easy to read. And in art, the student can just memorize where the colors are on the palette or use paints that are labeled. You see the pattern here? For every single challenge, there's a simple, effective fix. So, we started with a pretty simple question about a toddler learning colors, and we ended up way down the rabbit hole of cognitive development and visual perception. Understanding this stuff isn't just a cool fact to know, it's really a call to be more aware, more thoughtful, and more inclusive. So I'll leave you with this. What's one small change you can make to make your world a little more color-friendly for everyone?